got?
Deshaun writes, hello guys, love the show. With the Gambit movie releasing next year, am I the only one still very, very concerned about the casting of Channing Tatum? I love the guy, I think he's hilarious and an okay actor, but I can't picture him as Gambit at all. I think that this by far will be his toughest role, and I don't know if he'll be able to deliver. What do you guys think?
Look, I've said this many times. Couple years ago, I'm totally with you. Like 3, 4, 5 years ago, totally with you. I was the biggest critic of Channing Tatum in Hollywood. Waste of space, waste of time, waste of air. I said a lot of the films that came out that he was in, I was just, this guy is horrible. But this guy has stuck with it. And if you read a little bit into his background, he also worked really damn hard to get better. This was what he wanted to be. This is what he wanted to do. He had star potential, the looks, the moves, the charisma he's got. And he worked and he worked and he worked. And gradually, about 5, 6 years ago, you started seeing each movie he was popping up in, he was getting better and better and better and better, to the point where it's like now he's in a film. It's like, now I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Gambit is not going to be the most challenging role he's ever faced. No, it's not. There's a few films that he's already got in his repertoire that I think were more challenging roles. And I think now we are going to have the best Channing Tatum that we've ever had. And I think we've been able to say that about his last 2 or 3 performances he's turned out, that this is the best we've ever had, Channing Tatum. And I see nothing to suggest that that trajectory that he's been on is going to change. I believe that whether it's in Evel Knievel or whether it's going to be in Gambit, I think we are going to get the best Channing Tatum we've ever got. The very fact that a director like Darren Aronofsky wants to find a project to work with this guy on should suggest to you that there are people who know what they're talking about that look at him and think, yeah, this guy has it. You know, he's turning 35. He's no longer just a young kid. He's definitely a young man, but I mean, he's now coming into himself. I honestly think he may not have been my first choice, but the more that time passes for me personally, the more excited I'm getting about him playing the role. So you are definitely not the only one who's worried about it. So don't worry. You're not alone in that room. There are a lot of people who are worried about it, and this could go south real fast. But I got to say, for me personally, I'm actually starting to get some enthusiasm about this, and I'm looking forward to what he does. Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, me too. I mean, you go from 21 Jump Street to Foxcatcher, and you see the
so
run
good in Foxcatcher,
what he's able to bring to a role, to different roles, being either just funny and goofy or dead serious, like in a taut thriller. So, I mean, him playing Gambit now after seeing those movies, I buy him as Gambit. I think, 100%. I'm in for him to play this role. Even when they said he's not going to play it and there was like all these issues, to me, I'm more concerned about them spending $150 million. It's not my money. Why should I even be concerned? But I'm just saying, like, as far as them being able to do more films, what is the $150 million for? Like, hopefully they're doing some stuff that we have no idea what they're doing. So they're building giant sets. It should be a lot of fun. So I don't have any worries about Channing Tatum.
I don't either. And I think this goes back to the conversation we were just having with Aronofsky and everything too, where he's constantly challenging himself, whether it is a movie, if he's going to do a biopic about Evel Knievel, or if he's going to do a blockbuster comic book movie like Gambit. We know that he's a movie star. Now he's transitioning and being an actor as well too, because
a great way to put it.
There is a difference. And he's got that movie star quality. We know that about him. And he's one of those few guys that can sell tickets too. And I like to see him getting away from the Magic Mike stuff, because in the Magic Mike movies, he's just playing himself. He really is. He's just doing himself. We know that he can do that stuff. He gets away. He does movies like Gambit, and then he does a movie like Foxcatcher, like you said, Schnepp, and he was great in that movie, because it goes back to your point, John, with the commitment, what this guy does. Yeah. He was in it. He got the cauliflower ears. He did all of it. I mean, he was in it. And I believe that he'll do the same with this, because he knows right now also. He's also a really shrewd businessman. Mm-hmm. He understands that right now, the comic book genre, it's the genre. And how much people love X-Men, how much people love this character. Mm-hmm. He's not just going to go in. He doesn't phone it in. We were talking about Tom Cruise the other day as a guy who doesn't phone it in. Channing Tatum doesn't phone it in.
For better or for worse,
exactly.
He never phones it in.
Even if you don't like his performance in certain things, and I haven't too. I was very critical of him. I used to call him Chatting Chat Chat because I refused to get his name right. But he has now come to the point where I will get his name right because he deserves it. And I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people in this one.
The movie that made me go, okay, this guy can be a dramatic actor. It was even before Foxcatcher. It was that little film he did in 2013 called Side Effects with Rooney Mara, Jude Law,
Soderbergh.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Soderbergh was directing him in that. And that was the movie for me that went, because I already started to be turned on to him a little bit in his comedy at that point. But when I saw him in Side Effects, a movie that I did not love, but when I saw him in Side Effects, I'm like, yeah, he can do this. And then we see him in Foxcatcher, and his comedy kept getting bigger.
Movie also showed his comedy chops before 22 Jump Street was that dopey Ron Howard movie with Vince Vaughn and Kevin James.
Where they're the best friends in the car industry.
Yeah, the affair, not the affair, but it was Winona Ryder's
The Dilemma.
The Dilemma.
That was when he played like the boyfriend.
Yeah,
The guy, I remember that was the first film for me in general that made me go, Channing Tatum can be good if he's in the right
The movie
role.
was terrible, but he was good in it.
Yeah.
I loved his cameo in This Is the End too.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
That was
He knows he gets comedy. Understand?
Yeah.
You can tell at each comedy he does, he learns because comedy is timing. It's all it is, and he has gotten the beats. He's learning the beats. The stuff he does in 22 Jump Street, that drug scene when he's with the tongue and all that stuff, man. He's got it.
Yeah. He's up and coming. Like I said, could go south real fast, but the more time passes, the better I feel about his casting as Gambit. So let's see where that goes.